Good morning, everyone. So good to be back here in the Covet Mane Live. I'm Stella Digiovanni, and I'm I've been with Covet Mane for years and years since the beginning, and I am one of their educators. And so that being said, I wanted to pop on here and answer some questions about V-Light. I have an upcoming class at the Covet Mane headquarters at the end of September, and then I also have a color correction class at the end of August as well. So I'll be in New York City 2 times in the next 2 months. So I'm super excited because I love going to the city. It's so much fun. It's such a great time every single time, and seeing my Covet Mane family is always amazing. So that being said, I know that V-Light is one of those hot topics right now. It is one of those new methods that you see all over social media. You don't know what to believe. You don't know if it works. You don't know if it's all hype. There's a lot of misinformation going on. So that being said, now that there's so many of you in here, I wanted to pop on, and if you guys have any questions, I would love to answer any questions. I have been doing V-Light for probably about almost 6 months now. We do it in our salon all the time. We love them. Our clients are loving them. And I'll go over all of those details. So that being said, it's August. I was like, I don't want to say the wrong date. Let me look it up because I have so many educations coming up, but it's the end of August. It is the 29th, I believe. I'm like, I should have this up. But that being said, so it's the last Monday of August. And, so basically, drop your questions below in the chat box so I make sure I answer them. But what is V-Light? Let's start there. So V-Light is a strand-by-strand application, and it's an extension method that requires just a UV light to cure. It cures the section in 8 seconds. So it's very, very seamless. So what it's perfect for is the hairline. So I have my extensions out. If you guys know me, normally I have 22 red hair in, but it's summertime and I just kind of took it out. But that being said, so V-Light is perfect for hairline applications. So we're looking like right in here. So for those women who have very, very thin hairlines, this is a method that you can apply safely to that hairline. So because of the weight is basically nothing, it will have no damage. And it's really non-committal for clients as well. So what I mean by that is, if a client maybe is scared to try extensions, we are finding a lot of first timers coming in to try V-Light. But if we also have people who, let's say, they would love to fill in this front hairline, either because it's thin or it's broken and it needs to add color. So we fill it in, and you can actually add in like the coveted method throughout the back. So that way we can get all the way front without risking damage to the fragile hairlines. Another way we've been using it is for women who have thinning in the crown. So right over here, so because it is so thin, it is going to be basically invisible. So women who are having issues, like they can maybe wear extensions here, but maybe here they have hair loss. This is a great solution for them. And the best part is it's not bulky, it's not really heavy, it's really, really lightweight. So it's super amazing for clients who are having any thinning or hair issues. Another way we like to use the V-Light is in the very back. Sometimes clients don't want a mini row back there, or maybe they have extreme breakage on this top crown area. This top crown area, right? If it's really broken, we know as extension artists that it's sometimes really hard to make it look natural with extensions. So it's a great way to just fill that area in, and it's a great revenue booster. So, and why I say revenue booster for extension artists is these need to be filled about every 3 weeks. This is what I say is to come in and do a fill. So women who get weekly blowouts, they can just add this on. If they need a fill, it's kind of like eyelash extensions, right? So they just kind of shed and then you just reinstall. And so it's really fantastic. So every 3 weeks they come in, they do a fill, and then every 6 weeks they come back, you fully remove, and then you reinstall them. So it's a really great money maker because it's a little booster too. It's solving the issues that many of us have with our clients, is that hairline. It's a great, in addition to the Covet method and any extension method, to be honest, because it's really going to just help everything look so much better. One thing that I have been loving to do lately is, you know, those women who just really, really want a bright, bold money piece? Well, but their hair can't handle that, or it's already broken. By adding V-Light to the hairline, you can actually build in a money piece without ever having to bleach their hair. So I find that this is working best for our clients who have maybe thyroid issues, because their hair tends to be more brittle due to their medication. If you guys don't know me, I am a science-based educator. I love the scalp theory, science, color theory, all of those things. Okay, so that is one of those things. So those of you who are just joining on, if you do have questions about V-Light, please drop them in the chat below so I can answer them. And I'm going to get to some of the questions I received about V-Light in just a second, but those are some of the biggest things. Also for tinsel, that's one of the things. And I'll be honest, guys, we have some of our new stylists, one of the biggest benefits have been that they have a income surge, because this is so trending right now that, you know, as lead artists, we may not have the capacity to do all V-Light every 2 to 3 weeks in our schedule, but guess who does? Our co-stylists, our assistants. So this is a great way as a salon owner or mentor who is employing an assistant to boost your revenue and have your assistant be able to produce a revenue for your business while you're growing them. So that is one of the biggest things that we have seen in our salon, is that is a huge, they love it because they get to make so much more money, and they get to introduce themselves into extensions. So that Covet, so let me clarify the V-Light hair. So something, yeah, and if you guys add me on Instagram, it's stella.komi hair. I'm open to answer any questions, but again, at the end of August, let me just get the final date. Here it is. Okay, so, or the end of September. So September 29th, and it's actually beautiful in New York City around that time. So it's my favorite time to go. So September 29th is for V-Light NYC. So let's see. There's just going to be one time, and I do suggest, these are the hands-on classes, and here's the thing, why I suggest hands-on, everyone, is this method looks very simple from the videos. But let me tell you, every single class I've hosted, everyone is shook at how fragile and delicate you have to be and how hard it is in the beginning. So, but by the end of the class, we are sitting there helping you refine and certify. So you will get it right away, and then you can start introducing and get your models when you get home and getting that money, your investment back right away. So I want you guys to start offering this. I had so many learning curves. I took so many classes from other educators that online, and it just wasn't it. So I had to come up with my own education because I had to teach my whole salon. So it's not as easy as it looks, but with the proper guidance, we can curb that learning curve. Let's see. So with what we use for the hair, so I love to use the Covet Mane hair for V-Light. Okay, so if your clients, and why I like to use hand-tied hair, you can use any type of hair extension method, but why I like to use Covet Mane method is because the colors are kind of highlighted already. You can place different colors. You don't have to really custom color anything because the blends are so beautiful. And basically per installation, if we do a partial installation, which is 1 to 3 zones, you're using about 1/4 to 1/2 weft depending on the density you need. And basically all we do is cut like the braid off, and then we just install it. So the kits through Covet Mane, so V-Light hair specifically, I don't use V-Light hair. I use Covet Mane hair for this installation. And V-Light has these little hairs that you can maybe see in their advertisement. They look like mini tape-ins, maybe like 1/4 of a tape. So I do not suggest using that. If you're going to go that route, just use a tape-in because it's kind of hard. And it wasn't a very pretty grow out at all, so I don't suggest that. I suggest you using Covet Mane and only doing the strand by strand application. This is also not a full head application. I would never do that for a client, okay? Never, because it's going to take you a long time and it's going to shed not consistent, and so that's not going to create confidence in your clients. So it's literally an only for hairline, crown, just those thinning areas. So a full install should only be about 45 minutes, and that would be maximum density across like these areas. So this is a very, very, very quick method. This method, like 15-minute fills along with a blowout. It's in and out, and it's like we charge an extra like $50 for a mini fill for $15, you know, so it can make you money like this because people are getting their blowouts, attach a few more, get going, keep going. It's really easy that way. I do sell the kits, and I do also have an online course for those of you who cannot go in person, but I do really highly recommend you go in person. Because like I said, the learning curve, it's easier for me to correct you because it's such a delicate method. Right then and there, set you up for success, and you can go on and start making your money. Online, you absolutely get the support. I'll have you submit me some videos of the way you're applying, your final results, the retention you had with your guests, and help you troubleshoot. In my online course, which is included in the hands-on as well, you also get all the contracts you'll need to protect yourself, because this is, you know, a new method. You are using resin, you are using a UV light, so you want to make sure you are protected. You get all the forms, new guest forms, pricing lists, everything like that. And I actually have a freebie I'll be posting later up on my story today on Stella.Komi Hair. And then, so that is and someone asked if that was my only time that I'm having a V-Light class. I am having one August 4th here in Las Vegas, so in a week and a half. And then September 29th is the last that we have scheduled this year. But I'm open to traveling later this year if a salon is interested in getting certified. Do they have 360-degree range of motion? Yes, they do. So as long as you apply them correctly, they have 360-degree. You are totally fine. We have quite a few guests put them right here at the hairline because they have thinning hair here and they can see their wefts when they put their hair up. So they've added a few here to really disguise that weft being shown. So let me see. Let's see. But does Covet Mane sell the V-Light kits? I actually distribute and sell the V-Light kits. They're on my website as well. And are all V-Light kits created equal? So the answer is no. The V-Light kits I created have a special tool. Actually, let me grab it real quick because it's my favorite. So the V-Light kits come with a plastic applicator that I tend to tell people that use that for your practice. It's not very great in my opinion. So I manufactured these little guys. Okay, do you see how it has metal teeth? So it's cleanable and it's sturdy, and it is a little bit better for defining the V-Light strands and creating a better cure. And I include all of the removers, the color, the resin, everything you need. Yeah. And so that's why I kind of created my own kits, because I wanted to take off the things you guys didn't need, like the hair bracelet thing that the V-Light kits typically came with. We're not using those because we don't use the V-Light method of hair, but we do use the V-Light. So let's see. I love Covet Mane. Yes, they are the very best. So again, you guys, my name is Stella.Komi Hair on Instagram. If you go over there, there is so much information. I'm always talking about it. So how does the grow out look? So with the grow out, because you only do fills every 3 weeks, and every 6 weeks you do a full reinstall, the grow out is very minimal. So what happens over time, depending on the products you use, is sometimes the resin can turn a little white. But what I do to combat that is I send my clients home with a root spray, and that root spray, I just say, hey, if it's ever a little visible, all you're gonna do is do a little root spray, and disappears. So clients, after we found that solution, because at first when we started implementing, the clients were like, I like this, but like I don't like that it's turning a little white. So we found a solution that all of our clients have been now very happy with. And we have people flying to Las Vegas from the East Coast to get their V-Lights done every 3 to 4 weeks. And personally, I wore V-Lights and as you can see, I don't really need V-Light. My hair is very full and thick, but I wore them for 6 weeks, and I had been at the lake and I still had retention in there. So when applied correctly, they definitely last. Yeah, thank you. So the V-Light resin. So this is so funny. I always talk about this in my class. Some people are very sensitive. Some people can't smell it at all. It's very interesting that to me when I see that, I'm like, because to me it's kind of bothersome. But I also have these, and I talk about this in my class, but it's like a neck fan. And I put it here and I just have this spray because I'm actually sensitive to it. But a lot of people are not. Like, I'm like, how are you not smelling it? But so it is a little stinky, but as long as you're in a well-ventilated area and putting a neck strap, you'll be fine. Let's see. Does that answer that? Oh, you're so welcome, Kaylee or Callie. I'm like, I don't want to say it wrong. Yeah, I have all the tips and tricks, guys. So is V-Light similar to a K-tip method? So K-tips, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. It's actually a great gateway. Okay, so some V-Light clients, due to the high maintenance of it, which some people don't mind, especially if this is a solution, is we can gateway them into K-tips. And we just do mini K-tips. And that's a better, because there's not really a shed, but they are a little bit heavier, right? So, but some clients are willing to have a little bit more weight on their hairline just so they can go a few extra weeks, like K-tips, and then versus having to come back in. So it's actually a seamless transition into K-tips. So those of people who have been nervous to try more expensive methods, once they start doing the V-Light, they love the look, they're more willing to spend on something that makes last a little bit longer. And we have found a lot of first-time clients that getting V-Light extensions for extensions, first-time extension clients. Now we were like, they didn't know they could wear extensions. So I'm like, hey, we can also do a row of extensions because you do have the density you need right here, and we can safely apply this. And they're like, really? I didn't even know it was an option for me. So it's a great gateway. I always say that. It's like a gateway to the other methods as well as solving a solution. Let me get some water. Coffee. So let's see. But yeah, so let's see. Kaylee, yay! I'm so glad I said it right. But that being said, so that is about V-Light. I'm going to answer some of the questions, and then I'm going to talk about my color correction formulating class I'm doing at the end of August. And I want you guys to stay tuned for this because this is a class that you are going to want to be at. Because I'm such an in-depth educator, you are going to have the opportunity to really expand your knowledge. One of my things I have to say is I create master stylists and hairstylists because I help break down the science of hair and formulating and what tools will help your job get easier. So I'm going to go into that in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that. But I cannot wait to talk about that too. Okay, so someone asked me what's the main difference between Comb Light and V-Light. Thank you. It's like a wild child over here. But what's the main difference between Comb Line and V-Light? So I am not Comb Line certified first and foremost. So this is just from what Comb Line people who have taken Comb Line class have told me. But again, I'm not going to speak to being certified in Comb Line. Okay, so they're both a strand by strand application. Some of the biggest differences are that Comb Line, I heard, feels a little bit softer per se, but they both have the same type of shed. They shed the same. One of the key differences that I personally like is there is a faster application or class to application time. So Comb Line, I feel like you have to go through a lot of certification. This, as once we teach you, you're good to go. We're going to certify you and you can go on and start practicing on your models and then implementing it right away. The second thing that I know is the glue. So V-Light resin will last 6 months opened and a year closed. So that is great because honestly, I go through only a bottle every month maybe, and we have quite a few V-Light clients, quite a large number. So we don't go through that very well, and there's very much. So it lasts a long time. So I know with Comb Line, the glue has to be replaced monthly, I think I've heard, is what I've heard. So that is something that is a benefit to V-Light. Oh, thanks, Lo. I love you. Oh, yes, and Michael Zaddy, my husband's in the chat. Such a supportive husband. So those are the differences, but they're very similar, if I'm being honest, from what I can see visually. And the people who have taken the class really enjoy the fact that they don't have to repurchase the glue every single month. I do offer 2 glues as well, by the way. Can I learn this method online, or do you recommend come to your classes? I do offer it online, but I highly recommend you do the V-Light in hands-on. Like, I really, really recommend it, because a lot of people are trying to do it online because it's just open to the public, but they're not getting the results. They're not getting retention. It's just falling right out. So I do highly, highly recommend the in-person, but if you can't do that, I understand. You will do the online version as well. Who is not a good candidate for V-Light? So who is not a good candidate is people who are going to be adding a ton of hairspray to their root. They want a ton of volume at the crown. Now, one thing I'm going to say about that, though, a lot of women who have fine and thinning hair put all this gunk up here and try to get the volume due to the thinness. So once they have this, they feel more confident, and they're not required to really do all of that. So that's what we have found. People who might be sweating a ton, like a ton, like they're taking spin classes and they're dripping, that's going to affect the retention. But honestly, many of our clients have loved it, or clients who just don't like high maintenance things, to be honest. Okay, so they're like, no, I don't want to see you for 6 to 8 weeks. This is not going to be a fit for them. But many of our clients really love the effect it does, and it's worth it to them. Can beginner stylists be able to incorporate this into their services? Yes. If you're a beginner stylist, this is a perfect method to incorporate into your services, because it's not a super huge investment for clients. It's something that you can it's a smaller time frame, and you can, once you learn it, you can apply it very quickly and start making money right away, which is great. And it's something that people are asking for specifically. How are my clients loving V-Lights? They are loving them. So if that being said, so they are loving them. They literally do. And if those ones that don't love them, we end up doing mini K tips, and then they're sold. So no harm, no foul. And let me see. I just got one more that just came in. Is how much do I charge for a V-Light application? So I have 2 price points that I use. I use a partial and a full. Okay, and my services include a 7-day complimentary blowout within 7 days. So I can see what it grows like. If we're having any retention issues, I can address that right away, fill it in, and see what might have been the cause, whether it been the client's lifestyle, my application, who knows. Things happen, or sometimes some hair that is super, super, super fine, baby fine, it slips off, okay? And we have to figure out that we need to add a little bit more of the V-Lights to the hair in a thicker section. So we include that, but the install price that we do for a partial with no other extension method installed is $400, and then we have a $500 for a full install, and that's a 1 to 2 hour service. And so it's super, super fast, and it's very lucrative for us extension artists. For our fills, thanks. For our fills, we are doing them, basically it's like a blowout and a fill. So if it's a mini fill, it's going to be $129. That's literally basically an hour and 15 minutes. And then if it's a full fill, if it's really dense, looking about $165. So it's definitely very lucrative and a very quick service, which we all love, don't we? So let's talk about, and if there's any other questions, just drop them here. I will be sure to answer. But let's talk about my upcoming class called Bleach Out at the end of August. Okay, so this is a color correction class, but let me tell you what that means. What that means is I'm going to do a live model, and I'm going to show you a very big transformation where you're going to see in action everything that might come up. Like, it's not going to be here's a level 7 creating a blonde and it's easy, streamlined, and ready to go. What it is, that's easy. It's a look and learn. But I want you to show you a real life client where I'm like sweating, like, what are we going to do here? What are we going to game plan? How we're going to game plan? What is the strategy? So I'm going to walk you through all of those strategies and what things we can do, and how to consult with color correction clients, how to communicate and set yourself up for success. Okay. And that is one of the biggest things, as well as color formulation. Okay, so color formulation for blondes isn't as easy as just a 9V, right? With color, and we want to make sure that we are toning and formulating correctly for our desired results, so you can nail the color every single time. So I'm going to break down how to formulate with any color line, so that way you get accurate and precise results every single time. I'm going to break down all of the tools in our arsenal. And fun fact with me, you're always going to get a workbook in my class. You're always going to get a training video, because I want to make sure that all the information I'm giving to you during those classes, you have something to look back on, and you can, because I know I go to classes and I'm like, what did she say? There was something she said and I can't remember it. So you're going to have the resources you need to be prepared for anything that comes up in color corrections going forward. And here's the thing, and why it's so important to not shy away from color corrections is because, you guys, brunette has been trending for quite some time now. And guess what? Women are going to start to go lighter eventually. That is just what happens in our industry. We go through waves. So all of these brunette beauties are going to want to start to go lighter. And I want to help prepare you for that transition, and so that you can nail it the first time. It's very unheard of, but in my world, I say, give me one day to correct someone's hair and I need to get it to where it needs to be. I don't believe in multiple session work, and I'm able to achieve a girl from level 3, level 4, black, dark brown, box dye to silver gray in one session. Because I know the tools in my arsenal, which I'm going to explain to you. I know what to do, how to correct, what courses to do when things come up. And I'm going to give you that cheat sheet. Make it really simple for you to master anything that comes into your chair. If you are like most people, you're feeling the effects of less clientele right now and less people willing to spend money. So you don't want to shy away from these harder projects. And I quote this because the only reason that they are harder is because we don't know the tools we need to what does what. And I want to help explain that to you. I want to help give you that guide. So I'm so excited to bring the Bleach Out Masterclass. I will be doing a live model. You are going to be right there with me, going through the trenches and watching how I pivot and adjust to make sure that I get the result we're going for that day. So color formulation, the tools, the strategies I use in my color corrections, live sweating so you can see it, what's happening and how I pivot. You are going to get a online video about color corrections, a workbook, notebook, and lunch is always included, of course, because we're in New York City and we don't want to have to walk everywhere, right? We're going to do that after work. So do you guys have any questions or about the Bleach Out class or V-Light class? Again, my Instagram, for those, I know there's a lot of people popping in and out, is Stella.Komi Hair. And you can always DM me. I do have a lot of tips and tricks in there, so I love to share that stuff. So again, the dates are for Bleach Out New York City, which is end of August on the 26th. And then I have V-Light NYC at the Covet Mane headquarters again in September 29th. Okay. There we go. Sorry. So those are the two dates, both in-person classes at Covet and Mane headquarters. I'm so excited. And again, Bleach Out is not just for platinum blondes, not just for blonding. It's truly a theory of science of hair, color, and the tools and tricks for you to achieve all that you want to achieve with a client's hair in one session instead of over 5 sessions damaging hair. Transformations are my thing. Color corrections are my thing. I love them. And then V-Light is just such a great tool to add onto the extension methods you currently do. We use it with concealed all the time. We have clients we put concealed on and then we put the V-Light right in front here. We love to use the Covet and Mane extension hair because it's pre-colored, it's beautiful. And one tip that I would say is the biggest thing that people go, oh, do I have to buy more hair? Here's the thing. If you have some old hair that they have used, you can use their own hair. If their weft is kind of starting to go bad, then you can go ahead and use those. You can purchase new weft. I tell with my new installs, I include a half weft for the partial install. And then every, 6 weeks or so, they buy another half weft. And so it's really a revenue booster, guys. It's really a great addition to your current tool belt. It's a method that most people can afford when they're looking for extensions. So it's kind of a gateway. It's not the huge $2,000 investment. It's more like a $400 or $500 investment. So those who are hesitant, this gets them into the extension world. So it's great. It's great for your team, your co-stylists, your assistants to be able to offer this service. If you're a booked and busy stylist, here's the thing. You want your co-stylists to start building their clientele, and this is a perfect way to do so. So when I'm doing a new install, my co-stylist does one side, I do the other side, they're out in 10 minutes. And I'm not joking. 10 minutes each side, and we're done. And then when they do their blowouts and their fills, my assistants do that part. I don't do that part. And here's the thing. If you have your assistant, right, they're costing you money as an employer. This is a great way to make up some of that revenue, empowering your co-stylist to start her extension journey and get some revenue in the building. It offsets costs. So the class is it's so beneficial for people who have assistants and for extension artists. The class does include the kit, by the way. It does include the kit, so just know that, and just message me and I will send you all the links and all the information. Why do brown extensions turn copper? Now, I'll need a little bit more information on that. So, is this Covet Mane hair, first and foremost? If it's Covet Mane hair, I've personally never seen brown extensions turn copper, but if it is Covet Mane hair, I would say it's not the hair. It's probably some sort of mineral on the hair. It also could be, depending on the type of the lightness of the brown extension, it also could be sunscreen. A lot of people forget, especially as a brunette, about the sunscreen, that you have to use a sunscreen that's free of avobenzone and octylane, something like that. I don't say it. I never can say it right. So those things turn extensions copper. Now, me as a redhead, I normally wear extensions. I'm like, no big deal. But it does create a film, so you don't want to do that. But because I love being a copper beauty. Did that answer your question, Bex? I would do they did turn. Sorry, I guess I'm thirsty over here. If your extensions did turn copper, what I do recommend you do is put Malibu CPR and work that into the hair. Put it under the dryer for about 45 minutes. I put it in like a cap and just put it under there. If it is extensions, and that will remove sunscreen, coppers, minerals, things like that, and you may need to recolor that. But that could be also, spray tan. I have done that actually. I actually got a spray tan one time. I used to be platinum blonde, and I got my spray tan. I put my hair up when I did my spray tan, but my back was exposed when it was processing, and it turned everything copper. That was not fun. So, and I didn't realize it till way later. So that could be the reason. But that being said, you guys, do you guys have any other questions about V-Light, upcoming V-Light class at the end of September, and then the Bleach Out class at the end of August, and that's August 26th. Covet Mane headquarters hands-on class. I do include the V-Light kit, and I do have a couple educators that go with me, so I can make sure that you are getting individualized attention. We do have smaller classes, and for every 4 students, we include another educator. So, because my whole team is certified to do V-Light, so they will be there. You'll get one-on-one attention. You will leave confident, able to start taking your models, just so you can get some reps under your belt and then implement this right away. Your clients will love it. Trust me, they really will. You can actually probably reach out to any of my students that I tag. Go ahead. You can reach out how they felt about the class. I know some of you don't know me. and see how they liked their experience and how it's going for them. But it's definitely a revenue booster, y'all. And right now in this economy, sometimes it's great, you know, to have a little bit extra thing that you can add on that clients are more comfortable with spending. The Bleach Out class is hands-on as well. Live models through the trenches, color formulation, tools and strategies, how to truly break down the science of hair color and color corrections, and leave you feeling confident. So you are elevating your skills as a master stylist. So when all these brunette beauties start going lighter again, you are prepared. You are confident. You are able to achieve their desired result in one session without breakage. I really, truly care about the integrity of hair. So this is my wheelhouse, y'all. So that those of you that joined, thank you guys so much for joining, spending the whole, like this has been quite a long live. I hope I answered all of your questions, and I hope to see you at one of my classes here in New York City coming up at Covet Mane headquarters. I can't wait to see my Covet Mane family. Let's see, Ken, do you have any questions before I sign off? I don't mind. I love questions. But yeah, so I'm super excited, guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful summer. It's so hot here in Vegas. It's like 110 degrees. Thanks, husband. You are so welcome, everyone. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. New York City, Bleach Out, V-Light, maybe both. I'd love to see you at both. But I will see you then. And again, my name is Stella.Komi, Komi Hair on Instagram. Go ahead and give me a follow so you can have all the information you need. And I'm an open book anyway as an educator. So I'm always here to support and empower. No gaslighting, gatekeeping. No gatekeeping here. So have a great day, guys. Happy Friday. Be safe out there.